أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Once again, we give thanks to Almighty Allah, the compassionate, the merciful, for making it possible for us to gather here this afternoon. We thank on behalf of those who are going to this year Hajj. We thank Allah on their behalf. Those who are in our midst here, and wherever they are performing this year Hajj, may Allah accept it and make it Hajj Mabrur for them. And we pray Allah that when they take off from here, they will get to Saudi and come back without any problem, inshallah. Also, we have to thank all of you for making it a reality. It is not necessarily for those who are going this year. Those who are going this year, they've been listening to this lecture. Lecture of Hajj is a continuous lecture that we have to be listening to. Especially when we go this year, we still intend to go next year, we intend to go after next year. May Allah accept all them for us as an act of ibadah. Allahumma rabbana la tu'akhidhna in nasina khatana. Allahumma taqabbal minna innaka anta tawwabur rahim. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا وأخطأنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله.
We thank our Imam for the opening dua. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala preserve his life for us, inshallah, and every one of us. Now, the next on the agenda is the recitation of the Holy from the Holy Quran. And we have two suyuk that is going to recite the Quran for us. One of them is Sheikh Ishaq Al-Malaqab Abu Jamal. So it's with us, is an imam and the leader of one organization, I know. So may Allah continue to preserve his life for us. We always honor our invitation. May Allah honor you, inshallah. And the second one is among the trio from the Council for Religious Affairs, our Sheikh Muhammad Tawfiq Abu Al-Markazi. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward all of them, inshallah. With this, I would like to call upon Sheikh Ishaq, known as Abu Jamal, to recite the Quran for us, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب ارحمنا بالقرآن أعظم كتب من رحمن إكرام من قرآن حياة حق سبع مساني ألفه فيه يمان لامه لواه قفه معنى القرار رب نون سلام نور سلام. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن أول بيت وضع للناس الذي ببكة مباركا وهدى للعالمين. فيه آيات بينات مقام إبراهيم ومن دخله كان آمنا ولله على الناس حج البيت من استطاع إليه سبيلا ومن كفر فإن الله غني عن العالمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وإذ ابتلى إبراهيم ربه بكلمات فأتمهن قال إني جاعلك للناس إماما قال ومن ذريتي قال لا ينال عهدي الظالمين. وإذ جعلنا البيت مثابة للناس وأمنا واتخذوا من مقام إبراهيم مصلى وعهدنا إلى إبراهيم وإسماعيل أن طهر بيتي للطائفين والعاكفين وركع السجود. وإذ قال إبراهيم ربي اجعل هذا بلدا آمنا وارزق أهله من الثمرات من آمن منهم بالله واليوم الآخر قال ومن كفر فأماتعه قليلا ثم نضطره إلى عذاب النار وبئس المصير. وإذ يرفع إبراهيم القواعد من البيت وإسماعيل ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. ربنا واجعلنا مسلمين لك ومن ذريتنا أمة مسلمة لك وارنا مناسكنا وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. ربنا وابعث فيه رسولا منهم يتلو عليه آياتك ويعلمهم الكتاب والحكمة ويزكيهم إنك أنت العزيز الحكيم ومن يرغب عن ملة إبراهيم إلا من سفه نفسه ولقد اصطفيناه في الدنيا وإنه في الآخرة لمن الصالحين وإذ قال له ربه أسلم وإذ قال له ربه أسلم قال أسلمت لرب العالمين ووصى بها إبراهيم بنيه ويقول يا بني إن الله اصطفى لكم الدين فلا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون صدق الله مولانا العظيم.
Takbir. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward our Sheikh Ishaq, known as Abu Jamal, for that very poor inspiration. I really love it. May Allah reward with all the letters that you pronounce with it. May Allah reward you for it, and everybody that listens to it. Surah Al-Quraysh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. بإله قريش لإلههم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم. With this I call my Sheikh, a member of Council for Religious Affairs for Muslim Association of Nigeria, person of Sheikh Muhammad Tawfiq Fabu. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحج أشهر معلومات فمن فرد فإن الحج فلا رفث ولا فسوق ولا جدال في الحج وما تفعلوا من خير يعلمه الله وتزودوا فإن خير الزاد التقوى واتقون يا أولي الألباب. ليس عليكم جناح أن تبتغوا فضلا من ربكم فإذا أفضتم من عرفات فاذكروا الله عند المشعر الحرام واذكروه كما هداكم وإن كنتم من قبله لمن الضالين. ثم أفيضوا من حيث أفاض الناس واستغفروا الله إن الله غفور رحيم. فإذا قضيتم مناسككم فاذكروا الله كذكركم وآباءكم أو أشد ذكرا فمن الناس ما يقول ربنا آتنا في الدنيا وما له في الآخرة من خلاق ومنهم ما يقول ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار أولئك لهم نصيب مما كسبوا والله سريع الحساب صدق الله العظيم.
We thank our Sheikh for that beautiful recitation. May Allah reward you with all the decades of God's great opponents, inshallah. We have listened to the Quran, may Allah reward everyone of us, inshallah. Every year that we do Hajj Workshop, I always learn and add to my knowledge, being a student. Because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, knowledge is comparable to the grave. I've always learned. There's no year that I will not learn something from this city. May Allah continue to bless the speaker, the Hajj operator, and every one of us, inshallah. Today, we are going to start today's business. We have our elder scholar on seat. He's well known to all. He's our father. One of the two resident consultants that we are having in Muslim Association of Nigeria. He is known. Our Sheikh, Fadilatul Sheikh, Dr. Imran Alawi. Marhaba.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلاة وسلاما على رسول الله محمد بن عبد الله صلوات الله وسلامه عليه وعلى آله وصحابته أجمعين. Fathers and mothers and sisters and brothers and sons and daughters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, Al-Hajj. Al-Hajj, as usual in Islam, every aspect of deen is very easy and straightforward, and it's not complicated at all. Until we humans start to make it complicated. Now, I'm not going to indulge in talking about the details of what the Hujjaj are going to be doing in Mecca and Medina, because we have the next speaker who's going to talk about action or Hajj in action. However, it's worth to remind ourselves that the Arkan al-Hajj, what is actually required, the item that makes your Hajj valid. There are only 5, or 4, or even 2, according to whatever the madhab you are looking at. Mathalan, for example, Imam Shafi'i or Shafi'iyya, Madhab Shafi'i, believes 5 of them. Number 1, of course, is al-ihram. Number 2 is your al-wuquf bi Arafat. Number 3 is tawaf al-ifada. When you come from Arafat to say tawaf. And number 4, السعي بين الصفا والمروة. Number 5 is الحلق أو التقصير, to reduce your hair or to shave altogether. That is 5. But if you are looking at Imam Hanbali or Imam al-Maliki, they make it only 4, minus the halq and our tafsir. But if you're looking at Imam or Madhab al-Hanafi, they say, well, it's enough al-wuquf and tawaf. So all these giving us an indication to say Islam is very strict. And when Rasulullah performed Hajj to demonstrate how it should be done, that day his companions asked him so many questions. And they said, there's no question. They say, can we do it? Is that okay? Say, yes. Never said, no, don't do that. They said, yes. Ask you how to do this, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Just telling us every ibadah, there is something behind it. It's not the mechanical aspect of it. It's we should be concerned. Because remember, all arkan of Islam, it is done without doing the necessary thing that is behind it, is not going to be accepted. You can pray day and night. If your salat لا تنهاك عن الفحشاء والمنكر, your salat has no meaning. If your salat does not prevent you from doing all the horrible things, from being a very nasty person, your salat is no use. The same thing is a soul, the same thing is zakat, and the same thing is al-hajj. So therefore I will leave the mechanical aspects of hajj for next speaker to enlighten or to remind us, or step by step, of what you need to do when you are in Mecca and Medina. However, what I intend to do is to look at the importance and what we need to learn during the when we perform Hajj. And on top of this is for all of us to remember that Al-Hajj rihlatun ila Allah. Hajj is a journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because it's by invitation. That is essential to remember that we are going to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we ask ourselves to do what? The first is to make peace between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To finally confess all our sins and our shortcomings. We are going there to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The journey before the last journey. Rihlatun ila Allah azza wa jalla. So when we are going to Hajj, Hajj is very unique in many, many ways. Now, it's by implication that we leave everything behind. If you want to do salat, you do your salat at home, the mosque, do your salat at work. But Hajj, no. Hajj, you have to abandon your house. You have to leave behind your work, your family, your favorite car, and dress, clothing, everything you have to abandon. Because you need to go and answer the call. In Surah, Allah said, وَأَذِّنْ فِي النَّاسِ بِالْحَجِّ يَأْتُوكَ رِجَالًا وَعَلَى كُلِّ ضَامِرٍ يَأْتِينَ مِنْ كُلِّ فَجٍّ عَمِيقٍ. And proclaim to the people, the Hajj pilgrimage will come to you on foot and on every kind of fast mount, coming from every far away point on earth. We are all Allah al-Azhar. But remember that Allah said, come to me. I know you go to Mosque where we are now, we call it Baytullah. It's house of Allah. He said, no, I want you to come and visit me. Visit me to taste the joy of being next to me. The joy. Come to me to give you a light, nur, with which you'll be able to navigate your way during your journey of life. So you need to remember you are going there, A, to confess your mistakes. As you say, to get closer to Allah, you are going there to acquire nur, light, with which you're going to guide yourself in your life. And Hajj, you need to completely focus on what you are doing during the Hajj. Now, and remember that Allah in Surah Ibrahim, He said, رَبَّنَا إِنِّي أَسْكَنْتُ مِنْ ذُرِّيَّتِي بِوَادٍ غَيْرِ ذِي زَرْعٍ عِنْدَ بَيْتِكَ الْمُحَرَّمِ. Oh Lord, I have settled some of my descendants in an uncultivated valley near your sacred house. Hajj is prescribed that it be done in the area where it is very hot, not so much attractive at all. Allah could have asked us to go to Switzerland to perform Hajj, to go to Europe to perform Hajj, where you can see most incredible sights. You can see sea, you can see some greenery, you can see so many things. But no. So you go to that place, it's not yet been cultivated. To tell us that Hajj is not tourism. It is not just visiting places. It's visiting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by invitation. And as you know, that's why you need to remember Hajj has no connection with the worldly affairs at all. Remember that when you go to Hajj, we are going to a holy place where some time ago, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam used to live. He was there in Mecca, born in Mecca. Imagine, we need to bring that idea into our heart that we are going to where some time ago he, Muhammad bin Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, used to live, used to walk around where Jibreel alayhi salam used to come to see Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Imagine that we are lucky to be there. In this country, you go to a place, they've got listed building. They will say in that particular building, that room, Queen Victoria was there. And you are not allowed to change it. It's protected. And people pay money to come to London to visit all these historical places. Oh, this is the spoon where the king is. This is what his kitchen. This is what he's carrying. This is what. Imagine Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa ashabuhu and his companions, Abu Bakr, Umar, wa Uthman, wa Ali, wa Aisha, wa Khadija, wa Fatima, wa Zainab. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Just imagine in the company of those people. So, رحلة إلى الله, إلى الأرض المقدسة. That's what we need to carry with us when we are going to Hajj. When we visited Medina Munawwara, we are so close to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His qabr, his grave, his body is there, and you can just imagine the feeling what should be going through our hearts, and how could that be missed when we are close? Never mind the pillars, the Quran, the Sunnah. Those are the meanings which we need to remember when we are going to Hajj. To remember to gain the reason behind going to Hajj. It's like saying, I am going to my Lord to give me a guide, to guide me to where I want to be in my life. It's so important. In the recitation that we were listening to earlier on, for instance, there is an ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah about at-tazawwud, it's a provision. See, when you want to go for any journey, you need to prepare. You get your visa, you get your passport and visa, your ticket, you get your money, all sorts of things. You need to prepare. It's the same when you go to Hajj. Because you are going to Allah, Baytullah, what are your provisions? First you need to say, right, I'm going to meet Allah. And I don't want to go to his house with this on my head. So you start checking off, do I need to pay something back to somebody? Do I have debt that I need to settle on schedule or plan for debt? Because when you have debt that is agreed that will be paid later, that's fine. As long as the agreement is planned. You can still go to Hajj when you have debt, but that debt, it has already been settled in terms of the contract between you and the person. You need to check your heart. And some people say there that you hate so much, that it be okay for you to go and visit Allah and then carrying these terrible kind of hatred in your heart, and then you are going to visit Allah by invitation. It's something that you still doing, you know it's not on. And any part of your member of your family you are not speaking to, your neighbor, your people within the community that you see every day and part of your community, and you still don't speak to them. That's part for provision before you go. But Allah said in the Quran, تزودوا فإن خير الزاد التقوى. Make provision for yourself. Verily, the best of all provisions is God consciousness. Be aware of Allah. That Allah doesn't like what you are doing. Be aware of that. That's a خير الزاد التقوى. تقوى الله عز وجل. Don't go and visit him and carry all this with you. What he asks you not to do, you are doing it. What he asks you to do, you refuse to do it. You are not aware of him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you have the audacity to save money, and then you say, I'm going to see Allah. I'm going to his house. Special one. We need to be aware of it. تزودوا فإن خير الزاد التقوى. The best of provisions you can make before you go to Hajj is to settle your affairs with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وتزود فإن خير الزاد التقوى. تقوى الله عز وجل. That is the first thing. The second one is ذكر الله عز وجل. Because every ibadat is prescribed in Islam. Allah said to remember him. أقيموا الصلاة لذكري. In salat, لذكر الله, to remember Allah. Soul, to remember Allah. Zakah, to remember Allah. That's what Allah said. وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّذِينَ نَسُوا اللَّهَ فَأَنْسَاهُمْ أَنفُسَهُمْ. Do not be one of those people who have forgotten Allah and He made them to forget themselves, which means they get lost in life. They from one problem to another because they don't remember Allah. So Hajj is for dhikrullah azza wa jalla, which means by implication, stop talking too much nonsense when you are performing your Hajj. Make sure that you reduce your consumption of your mobile telephone. It is very sad to see some people, even when they're in tawaf, to be filming themselves and to be sending messages when they are doing tawaf. Aina dhikrullah, where is the nearness of Allah? When you are next to his house by invitation, imagine. This is completely unrelated and different altogether. The difference between what is in the samai wal ard. Imagine that our Queen Elizabeth invites you, and you're there where you're waiting, and it's coming, and you are still texting and WhatsApping and talking. Imagine. Can you just imagine that? With our Queen, with Prince Charles, or with our Prime Minister, or with Minister, or with our MP even. And now you are in Baytillahi Azza wa Jal, and you are doing your tawaf, and yet you are told them, guess what is I'm doing right now? I shoot the video on. You can see what I'm doing. Hey. Don't do that, please. Dhikrullah Azza wa Jal. That's what Allah asks us to do in Hajj. To remember Allah all the time. don't waste anything. Talk only as necessary. Now, part of the action that we do in the Hajj, of course, is the verse of Arkan, as I mentioned before, and Ihram. We change our clothing, our appearance, to put on this very simple Ihram. What's that for? To remind us about al-maut, the end. To remember the end. See now, look at you now, you are putting that gun on your clothes. That's it. This is the indication that you are, that's a practice wrong of your way permanently to Allah in your qabr, in your grave. That's to make you feel that this is it. All my gele and all my fila, all my shoes, all it is. And you become Abdullah, servant of Allah, shouting, Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Labbaik la sharika laka labbaik. Labbaik, 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 labbaik. Answering Allah, obeying Allah, remembering Allah when you put on that ihram, dhikr al-maut. The day that it will come without any negotiation, no compromise, no choice. That's what it is. The day that Allah said, remember that. So you are on this earth, you stop being too pompous. Remember when you are doing your ruku and your salat, what do you say? When you are in ruku, what do you say? Allahu al-A'la. Kabir al-A'la. Kabir al-Azim. Al-Hajj is rihlatun ila Allah. Journey to Allah. And it's a journey before the last journey. That must be remembered. When you enter the Kaaba, you need to remember saying you are entering Baytullah. You need to remember that you are there to purify yourself. You have been given opportunity. And remember that you want to return to your base, inshallah, safe, but as a different person. Honestly, anybody who perform Hajj, people must see that you have changed. You must not just come back and slot in as you used to be. All the hatred continue, all the rubbish that you are talking continues, all the behavior is the same. No. Because it's supposed to be only once in your lifetime. Hajj is not only once. And in fact, it's very good for us to go only once. If you want to go more, that's fine, but don't go every year. Don't go every year. There are a lot of other courses that you can spend money in. Don't go every year. Imagine that in this mosque now, we have space. How many Salat al-Jum'ah we do? Maybe 2. We've done the Salat al-Jum'ah, and people are waiting. You say, I want to do more. One more. You say, no, everybody just get put. Nobody will allowed to go in. Why? I'm praying to Allah. No, people are waiting. You are allowed to pray once. I said, are you denying me to pray to Allah? No, I'm not denying you, but only once. That's all. Hajj, liman istata. Not only everybody. say, for those who can afford to do so. Affordability is in terms of your health, in terms of your safety, in terms of your finances. Otherwise, it's not compulsory for you at all. Imagine when you are a Muslim and the law says, Qardu Hasan, and they say, I'm going to give you multiple reward. And you just ignore that. Say, what? I'm going to Hajj again, and Hajj again, and Hajj again, and Hajj again. In the meantime, everything is coming apart. In the meantime, we are able to go to Mosque. In the meantime, people are still hungry. In the meantime, people need help. Nobody's helping them. And we just want to go to Hajj. And that is why the hadith Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when you do your niyyah, you say, Allahumma hajjan, بدون لا رياء ولا سمعة. And say niyyah for Hajj without showing off. That my Hajj is for you, Allah. I'm not going. People can say, wow, it's gone again. MashaAllah. Every year. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Multiple Hajj. But once we give you the title, Alaji. Subhanallah. If we remember Allah, we are doing it for the purpose of Allah. So, and He gave us so many avenues where we can serve Him, where we can donate to our Yom Care. Plenty of opportunities. He just said, look, if you can, just go once. So you can imagine, once in your lifetime, you get all these millions and then you are there. So remember, inshallah, those of you are going, let's remember the reason why we are going and the importance of Hajj to reform us, because Allah, to give us nur, inshallah, that with which we can navigate our journey of life. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام
عليكم. We thank our Father, Fadilat Sheikh, the evidence scholar. We really appreciate you. Your well-delivered lecture, very educative, informative, inspiring. Allah Akbar. Say Allah Akbar. May Allah reward you, inshallah. Anytime I listen to the lecture, I always enjoy. I don't even want to. When they told me that this time, I said, please let us extend it, because I was moving the way he was delivered the lecture. May Allah preserve your life for us, inshallah. Surah Quraysh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمه من جوع وآمنه من خوف. Now, before we take question and answer, I'd like to call the second speaker, the Hajj operator, who well acquainted of what's are on the ground now, who will update us about the situation in Hajj. Things continue changing every year, but they take people there all the time, so they know more than us. That is why we have the opportunity to invite the well and renowned and famous Hajj operator in UK and Ireland. Al-Hajj Barrister Adiwani. Takbir, takbir, takbir.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا إنه من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له واشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إنه كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الناس اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. All praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with the praise that is deserving of His Majesty. He whomsoever He guides will never be misguided, and whoever has refused the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because he has closed his mind to the guidance of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam will never find guidance elsewhere. We ask Him to protect us from the evils which emanate from our souls, the evils which is the result of our actions, and we put our trust in Him above all we ask Him to shower His blessings and benedictions on our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, his companions, his wives, and not those who follow in his footsteps until the day of resurrection. Amen. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The first thing I will say is that, when I was told to come and deliver this talk, or should I call it a seminar, I was told that I was going to come and talk as an Hajj operator. And I take that to mean that, just come here and talk whatever, the experience I've had in the past. But when I arrived here and I saw my Sheikh, Dr. Alawiye, my companion in the Arik here, and we rearranged the task, and he said that he would leave the task of the step-by-step of Umrah and Hajj, and my heart just sank because I don't know what to do. Because I think he would be in the best position than me as the knowledgeable person to do that, but we will try to do our best. I have tried to get some clips which I've brought here to be able to understand, to be able to convey what I'm going to say. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to enable me to say it in such a way that it will be understood in the way in which I want it to be understood, because that is the most important thing. And that is just simply paraphrasing the dua of Musa alayhi salatu wa salam, Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Hajj, I called it 3 times. It's a very important journey, of course. But I have to say that it has come to something else this day and age. That's why it is important that we have to attend lectures such as this to be able to know the nitty-gritties of what we are supposed to do. Because from the experience which we have in the last 20 years, which we have been involved in this, we have seen things change to a very large extent, to the extent that we don't even recognize Hajj again in that sense. What do I mean by that? It is my belief, and I believe that some of the knowledgeable people sitting here will agree with me that if someone is an Hajj operator, they have to be God-fearing, they have to take importance the fact that people are following them to go and do Hajj, and take importance the aspects of the duties which the Hajjis are supposed to perform. But you will find out from most of the people that are involved in it, and this is not to put anyone down, I'm just speaking generally, you find that a lot of people, they see more, it's becoming more and more business. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with seeing it as a business, but when the business take over as the most important thing in terms of helping people to do their duties, then we are entering a very dangerous area. And that's why today it saddens me that only 3 days ago I was considering that I probably don't want to be involved in this again, because Hajj is supposed to lead one to the Jannah. That is my belief. But I'm afraid to say that I will not be surprised, and I will not be oversaying it to say that this is my own view, that I think is going to lead some people to Jannah. Probably that I used to write, and I'm being serious about this. And those things I say are very loaded in the sense that what you see what people are doing, the business transaction, what is happening and everything, then you will understand what I'm trying to say to you. But may Allah save us. We all know all these things. Now, what I'm going to try to do today, because I've been given an extra task of dealing with Hajj step by step, and not step by step, I can do that, but I will spend about 10 minutes on that. But before I get on to that, I will just talk generally about the goal. What is the goal? What comes to our mind when we are going for Hajj? I will not waste our time. We want to go and do Hajj. And we want to end up, by the time we come back to have done what you can refer to as Hajjan Mobururan. Our sheikhs will tell us the meaning of that here. Hajjan Mobururan. That is an Hajj with the intention of seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Intention was mentioned by our sheikh here. Complete sincerity in accordance with the sunnah of the Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Free of sin, no backbiting, that is, no complaining about whatever, righteous deeds benefiting others, and not followed by disobedience of Allah after. And that is very, very important. If one finds himself in Hajj, and they do the Hajj properly, and they come back straight from the airport, when they landed at the airport, disobedience follows. It happens because you have planned it before you go. You are going for Hajj, you have planned to come back and commit the sin before you even go. So what is the point of going? So this is the point of that. And that is why one of the sheikhs of the 3rd century of Islam, Sheikh Hassan al-Basri, he said that what he considered to be Hajjan Burura is to return abstinent from this world, desiring the hereafter. That is how he paraphrased it. I think that summarizes it all. Returning from this world, from Hajj, abstaining from this world and desiring the hereafter. And if you find yourself not in that sort of position, then one needs to do a check. Now I come on to preparation for Hajj. Now, this can be divided into so many, there's many divisions of it, but we have what we call the spiritual preparation, the mental preparation, the faith preparation, which of course will be dealt with by scholars, will be done, before you go, by asking questions from people of knowledge as to what you are going to do, how you are going to do it. Historical connection, the physical preparation is important. Of course, the financial preparation is important, and then you've got logistic preparation. All these things are very, very important before you go. And that is part of the aim to get to what I can call, what I said in the beginning, which is Ajjan Mabrura. Because if you don't do this, you will find yourself wanting in being able to achieve that goal. Because the goal is always going to be in your mind. What? Can anyone say this? Ajjan Mabrura. That is the goal. That is what should be ringing in your mind. And I say this for a reason, that you're going to have a lot of distractions there in your room, when you go to the Haram, when you go to Medina, when you go to anywhere where people are going to do things that is going to irritate you. But if you have at the back of your mind that you are here to perform an Ajjan Mabrura, that Hajj that will be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you'll be able to take your eyes or your mind off any distractions, because those are distractions. Even on many occasions, maybe the people that took you there, they didn't do one thing or the other which you expect them to do. Do you want to lose your own Hajj by complaining there and then in the public about it and trying to spoil things? I don't think so. You can deal with that in any other way. And I'm not saying this because I'm one of the Hajj operators, because people might think, oh, that's why I say, because if you take us there, then if he does something, he doesn't want us to tell him. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm simply saying is that there's other ways to deal with it, as opposed to spoiling your own Hajj. Because you will spoil your own Hajj if you don't do it the right way. As we know, if you are wrong and you don't know how to correct the wrong, you will end up in the wrong. Won't you? Everyone will agree with me. So, I come to sincerity. The effort, the resources will only matter or count if the intention is with the intention of worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, that rings around all the acts of worship which you have, which you do, including Salat, of course. And that must be checked every step of the way. It must be checked every step of the way. It's not simply when you are going, because you will find out that every step of the way you are bound to lose it, because someone will do something will happen. There's no place in the world where your patience will be tested more than in the Haram. Somebody will come from behind and push you. So you'll be sitting down, someone will come and spit in front of you, and then you get up and slap them. That's that is a natural thing that will happen with some people. You get up and slap them, and then your Hajj is gone. It's gone. Simple. I can be wrong here, Apostle. If you do something which is a sin, despite the fact you are not going to handle it, and of course we have situations where people want to go and kiss the black stone, and on their way there, they are committing series of sins by pushing, shoving, injuring people, or causing problems to themselves. As a result, even putting their head, the reward they're going to get by putting their head in the black stone is not even going to be there. They're going to even lose more things and end up with deficit, which is what is going to happen. It's as simple as that. So if you know it's going to result in you committing sins, don't do it. Repentance. Don't wait until the day of Arafah before you repent to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for whatever sins you committed. And do not go with the intention of continuing the sins which you are committing before. This is very important. And that is the tendency for us as human beings. We are committing some sins before, and then we go to Hajj, we are coming back to it. Doesn't make sense, does it? It doesn't make sense. You are going and then you are coming back to commit the sin. It's a simple arithmetic. You're going to worship Allah, you go to ask for forgiveness, then you are intending to come back and commit that sin. One should be careful about it. And then, as our Sheikh said here, value the opportunity of being chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be his guest, and be a good guest, because this is not something to be taken very, very, very lightly. You are lucky to be one of those people that are going, whoever is going, you are lucky. because it is common knowledge that some people are not going to go until they enter the grave. That is the hard fact. We don't want it, but it's happening. So if you are choosing to go, thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and value it, but don't just see it as a sort of a play. I'm just going for a picnic. It's just a way of getting out of London because of the stress. And I'm just going there to go and do. That's why I see people doing all sort of things there. It is a journey of the heart before the journey of the body. Then your heart must go first before your body goes. If your heart is not there, then your body is not going to be there. And I'll give you an example of myself. When my dad sent me to Hajj in 1979, I didn't want to go. It was not my plan. I was planning to go to the US, to America. In those days, we young men, when we finished our education, the next thing to do is to go to university or go to the US. And then suddenly my dad woke up one morning and said, okay, you are going to Hajj this year. I said, what is my own business with Hajj? What am I going to do there? He said, because my mom that died the year before, he has promised me that I should go. I said, I'm not going. Simple. I'm going to America. At that time, I was not practicing Islam. I don't even care about it. I know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I know that Allah is there, and I trust in Allah, but Hajj is not in the equation. Anyway, my dad said, if you don't go, me and you, we are going to be in the newspapers. He said, it's going to be trouble. You have to go. I said, okay. I'll get 500 pounds. 500 naira in those days, if you exchange this, it will add up to about 800 and something dollars. It comes up to 2,000 something reals. I took the money. I said, well, anyway, it's a way of getting out of. I'm going to enjoy myself. I went there, I bought Saiko. In those days, you bought Saiko. I bought the Sambaka, and I bought everything. And I can tell you that, from knowing what I know now, I don't think that was Hajj. Because it was something that I went there, I did my Umrah, I did everything correctly. I even, went on top of the Arafah on the day when they are doing the Arafah. But if I look back at it, was it in sincerity, was it the intention of worship, was it everything? I was supposed to go, I went there and I came back. So that is kind of Hajj that, one has to avoid. But I've since, repeated the Hajj and corrected, Alhamdulillah, may Allah bless my dad, help me to pray for him to give him a very good rest in the Barasa. Because what he did that day, I think, is significant. So that is why, you don't know the repercussion of what happens sometimes. Because I look back and I just look and I had the picture together that, something must have happened. Look at me now and I'm taking people to mind. I could never imagine that in 1979, it said with me taking people to Hajj. Even Alhaji Abdullah Mogaji, that was everywhere. I think people know Alhaji, look at it in the Lagos. I used to take people to Hajj. Alhaji Abdullah Mogaji, Alhaji Abdullah Mogaji, I didn't wear the uniform. When it passed through, we found in the streets of Jihad Road, that is where people stayed in those days. When he passed through, he saw me, they said, Adewale, if you are not wearing our uniform, I will just put my hand and say, well, you're not in my I'm not looking at how am I going to do this Dagere dress, which is a Buba and Chukutu? I went there with my shirt and trouser, I used my money, I spent my money. Even my auntie that was sent with me, she finished her money before the day of Hajj. So that's just an example of what people think. Now, because of time, I'll move on to mental preparation, which is very, very important. To deal with the trials of Hajj and hardship of Hajj, we need a lot of patience. Patience all the step of the way. And I believe this is the practice of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Hajj being a unique journey of a lifetime, which is the aim is to end up in Al-Jannah. You are going to be tested every step of the way. And there's only one opportunity to get the Hajj right. Only one opportunity. If you repeat the Hajj, your first Hajj is the Hajj. Am I wrong? Is your first Hajj is the Hajj. So if you get it wrong, which is why I tell people that before you go for Hajj, that is when you ask questions as to what you should do. Because the people have the practice and they come to you after they come back. Oh, I did such and such in this thing, is it right? Well, where are we going? If you are wrong, what are you going to do now? Go back there now and correct it. So before you go, it's the time to try to do. It's a wonderful thing to do. You are going to have about so many millions of people with different culture, backgrounds, kind of characters, personality, present in the same space, performing the same righteous deeds and sharing the same resources. This is the summary of it all. The people you are going to be sharing everything. I mean, you come back to the room where you are going to be, because if you can afford to get a room to yourself, it's good, of course. But many people are not going to be able to get a room to themselves. That is part of life. So you are going to have to be with people you don't know. So you have to prepare your mind to accept some things which you don't like. It's a part of life. You cannot go in there and be complaining. Turn off the AC, open the window, and then somebody there in this AC. You have to find time to compromise and be what? And be reasonable. That's the part of life. You cannot. I mean, if you have money, then get a room for yourself. But once you are in the room with 4 or 5 people in the room, then you have to be patient. We have different characters. Some people spend 2 hours in the toilet. They don't come out. Yes, that's true. They go to the toilet, they don't come out in time. And then someone comes to complain to me that, somebody, what am I going to do? Go and pick him out of the toilet. So those are the things you have. And one thing which you have to know is that whatever patience you have for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wallahi, you are going to be rewarded for it. If you say, okay, let me just wait. Let me find some alternative. Some of the buildings will have some toilet maybe downstairs. You can go there to go and use yourself. Go there and leave it. Don't start a fight because of that. Don't start blaming the occupation. Well, why didn't you put 4 toilets in one room there? Because that's not going to be possible. I just said in the beginning that the money that people are paying for Hajj this year, you can compare what was paid in 1994. It's too much. And it's still not enough for you to cover all the costs. The cost is mounting day by day. Only the other day, the Saudi just released a communique that people have to pay extra 1,000 something for something, or whatever it is. Now you cannot go back. If you have charged them about £4,000 at the beginning of the year, you cannot go back to them and say, look, give me extra. I want to say, and I you have charged us 4,000. This is your business, If you make more profit, then you won't come back to us and give us money back. So you haven't got the right to go back to people and ask them for more money. So art is very expensive and it's becoming a very, very big business. So the mental preparation is very, very hard. You are likely to face so many upsetting sins. People will not comply with basic rule of hygiene. I've talked about spitting, blowing their nose. Some people will blow their nose with their hand like this and splash it, all over the place, even on you. And people will spit on you. If you are walking beside people and you are not looking your left and right, you will see that by getting spit on your face. That is a common thing. Some people, they don't care. So people don't respect it, despite the fact that the Saudi authorities, they put everything there. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. So prepare your mind for all those things. I'm not saying that this will happen every step of the way. But if you prepare your mind for the worst, then when you get there and things happen, it won't surprise you and then you won't react so badly and start abusing people and start fighting them. Or people to get instead of beating them up. In the haram, we get 1,000 reward for 100,000 reward for praying in the haram. So also the sins are multiplied that you commit there. It goes without saying, isn't it? Keep in mind the nature of the journey. It is not a vacation of a 5-star. You may go for 5-star packages, but it is not in reality a vacation of a 5-star. At the end of the day, you are still going to go to Muzdalifa, where you are going to have to be on the floor. So even if you take that 7-star in the haram, you have to get out of that place and go to Mina, go to the Arafah, although they are making it much more easy, but you have to go and sleep on that floor. I mean, I remember someone that he said he's not going to leave his hotel for the minute. And I was looking. And the person did that and he came back and he didn't do and another left him. Another is very patient. Can you do that with a human being? You come here to worship me and you say you are not going to that, you see how you stay. Focus on your mission of performing Hajj al-Mabrur. once you are choosing your Hajj, operator, make sure that you don't start complaining in the Hajj. If you have any problems, have a much more better way of raising your complaint. Don't do it in the midst of other Hajjis so as to cause fitna. Because when you are saying it, as a backbiting and sort of, then you cause problems, revolt, and things like that. And focus on the mission. And then, because I've got 10 minutes to go now, remember the day of Arafat. Prepare your mind for that day. Some people, they are in the habit of going for Hajj, and then when they get to Mecca, maybe 4 or 5 days before Arafat, they go and exert themselves in the Haram, sleeping in the Haram day and night and all the rest of it. And then, the day before Arafat or the day before Arafat, when they are now going to Mina, they become sick. Now, Arafat is Hajj, as the scholars will tell us. If you miss the Arafat and you don't do it because you are in the hospital, sometimes they bring you to the hospital, but you don't want to be in a position where you will be brought on a stretcher to the Arafat, and then you will not be able to do du'as and things like that. So don't go and do the things that are not the most important thing, and then get yourself tired, and then you are not able to do the Hajj properly. Now, I will just spend the next 10 minutes on the step-by-step of Umrah and Hajj. Just 10 minutes. And now 15 minutes. Now the slide which I've got here is just going to say it all probably. Now, what you are seeing there, of course, is Hajj. No, this is not important. Now, you look at that picture there is the picture around the Haram. Now, that is the place which you get into you can see the surrounding areas around that circle there. You see Mosque there. That is the area which you must not pass through before you take the Ihram. Simple. I mean, it depends on where you come from. For example, people coming from Medina that are going to Medina first, they will come through a place called Dhul Ulayfa, which is in Medina, which is the Mosque. That's where you go and take the Ihram. But if you are coming from London and you are going to Mecca straight, you are likely to go through a place called Karnun Mozanne, because some of the airlines, for example, Oman Air, and some of the Middle Eastern airlines, they pass through that. So it depends on which area you are passing through. So if you are going from Medina, of course, you go to the mosque proper and do your intention here. But when you are in the plane, you cannot drop from the plane to the place of the mikot. You have to do your intention where? In the aeroplane. That's when you do the intention. Then you will have put on your Ihram, your Hajj operator will tell you to put on your Ihram at home before you leave, and then when you get to the place where you make intention, you make intention, and then you will now proceed to Mecca. Now, this is the summary of Umrah. You got the Ihram, you put on the Ihram. The Ihram, you can say it's in two parts. One part is you prepare for the Ihram by shaving your hair from the armpit and your pubic hair, and then you're cutting your fingernails, and then you put on the Ihram, the white clothes for the men, and then women, any clothes will suffice. It doesn't have to be any color. It doesn't have to be white or whatever. It can be anything. Then you go straight to Mecca and do Tawaf. We are not going to go into details about that, which is 7 circles around the Kaaba, and then you do Sa'i, that is Safa and Marwa, and then you do that, and then you do what is called Halq, which is shaving of the head. But sometimes it is better for men to cut the hair so that they can have something left to cut, to shave when it comes to Hajj, which they are going to go, and probably a few days later. Let me just run through and that's just repeating that. And that's just telling you to click what you have to do. I'm going to run through this. And then that is the intention which you make before you do the Umrah. Labbaika Umrah, Labbaika Lahumma Umrah. That is when you get on the plane or when you get to do the mosque in Medina, you repeat that. And that is where you are now in the Ihram. The Ihram, sometimes people mistake it as if when you put on the white clothes or you put on your clothes. That is not when you are in the state of Ihram. You are in the state of Ihram when you do that intention. That is when the prohibition entered into the picture. And then that prohibition of Ihram. Now the Hajj itself is quite simple again. There's 4 pillars. There's 3 pillars of Hajj, and there's 4 pillars of. There's 3 pillars of Umrah, and there's 4 pillars of Hajj. Umrah is Ihram, Tawaf, Sa'i. That's the pillar. Any of those things, you don't do it, then the Umrah collapses. Now, it will Arafah will be added to that to make it Hajj, but you will do it on a separate occasion. This is not the place to try to explain all that because we haven't got the time. So when it gets to the 7th or 8th of Dhul-Hijjah, the Saudi authority will bring the bus around. Of course, according to the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, you have to go to Mina on the 8th of Dhul-Hijjah. But because of the logistics of getting people, moving about 3 million people from Mecca to Mina, the Saudis start to do that on the 7th of Dhul-Hijjah, the day before. So you might find yourself in Mina before Isha on the 7th of Dhul-Hijjah. So you cannot say you cannot go. So that is beyond your control. So you have to go. So once you go there, then you are in Mina until the morning of Arafah. Of course, you'll be in Ihram. You put on your Ihram at home, at your place of residence in Mecca. You do the same preparation you did before you leave your house. I mean, if you still have fingernails there, you shave it. If you still have hair there, you shave it. Then you put on your Ihram later. But after you get to Mina, you pray Zuhr, Asri, Maghrib, Isha. You pray them in 2 rakas each, not combined, and Fajr. And then you go straight to Arafah in the morning of the 9th of Dhul-Hijjah. When you get to Arafah, you wait there, you pray, you do dua, so you make your normal zikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as it is said. Then during the time of Zuhr, at the Zuhr time, you combine Zuhr and Asri together. You combine Zuhr and Asri together, bring 2 rakas each at the time of Zuhr. That is what we know. And I'm sure that our scholars will correct us if we are wrong. Some people, we see them doing them separately. Some of the people from the Asian subcontinent, they tend to want to do the Zuhr and Asri. Don't join them. What we know as the correct way to do it is to do Zuhr and Asri, shortened and combined at the time of Zuhr. And then you go to Muzdalifah after or just before sunset. You don't do your Maghrib and Isha until you reach Muzdalifah. Once you get to Muzdalifah, you combine your Maghrib and Isha. Scholars say that if you happen to find yourself in, still in Arafah by 12 o'clock, then of course they said you have to do your Maghrib and Isha because you are going to go past the time. And that is a possibility because the buses sometimes don't come along in time. Then you get to Muzdalifah, combine your Maghrib and Isha, then you do your Subuh in the morning, and then you move off, you go back to Mina. Back in Mina, you put your things down, you go to and throw the first Jamarat. At the Jamarat to Al-Haqaba. Only one of them is done on that day, not the 3. Then from there, some people decide to go to Mecca straight to do what we call the Tawaful Ifada, which is one of the pillars of Hajj, which if you don't do your Hajj collapses. Then you do that and then you shave your hair. These days, you don't go and slaughter the ram yourself. We used to do that in the old days. We go to the place of slaughtering and slaughter, but now you give money to the Hajj operator or some people and then you slaughter yourself. So you got about 4 things to do on the 10th of Dhul-Hijjah. The Tawaf with the father, throwing of the stone and shaving, and they are not very easy tasks. And you have to come back to Mina on the same day. Then when you come back to Mina, then you come and complete the rest of the day. And then your Hajj is complete, and then you got to do the Tawaf with Wadai, which is the Tawaf of farewell Tawaf, just before you leave Mecca. Now, for sisters that are in the position of the position of a monthly circle, they have to do all the intention before. Just as everybody, you follow all the rules of the intention, shave, put on the ram. The only thing you are not going to be able to do is the tawaf around the Kaaba, because you need to be in the state of tahara for that. So, in the state of wudu. So you cannot do that. So, but you have to still do your intention. If you don't do your intention, then it's not right. You do your intention as normal, both for the Umrah, for the Hajj. So I don't think I can be able to do justice to this part of the presentation with this short within 10 minutes, but I've just tried to summarize the Hajj. And of course, Medina, you go there and then you say salam to the Prophet, you pray 2 rakats at the family, okay? Mosque. Let me just take the next 5 minutes, which I've got to show you you see the pillars of Umrah, that's the pillars of Umrah there, which is Iram Tawaf Sai. You can see the building collapsing there. So what that is saying is that if any one of them is not there, then the whole thing collapses. You don't have nothing. So if you do Sai and Tawaf without your Iram, then it collapses. If you do Tawaf and you don't do Sai, it collapses. If you do Sai only and you don't do Tawaf, it collapses. Very quickly. And then you stay in Mecca before the Hajj. This is the steps of Hajj. You can see the step of Hajj here. You see the steps of Hajj. Hajj side distance, Iram for Hajj. On the Mina on the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, Arafah on the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, Muzdalifah on the 9th, Mina back to Mina, Mecca to do Tawaf with the Father on the 10th, and then 11, 12, 13 of Dhul Hijjah, you do the Rami, the stoning, and then Mecca the last day. Then you got to and that is the Mosque, the Al-Kaif in Mina. That's the Mosque Al-Kaif in Mina. That mosque, it is said that 70 prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prayed in that mosque, including the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That is where the Prophet stayed when he was in Mina. But you will find out that you will not be able to even go there. You can see it at a distance. When you're on your way to throw your stone in at the Jamrat, you can see it. But I don't think we went there once since we've been going for Hajj, but we've not been there. That is the 10th of Mina. And that's Arafah, is telling us about the day of Arafah, the excellence of Arafah. There is no day in which Allah freed more of the slave from fire than the day of Arafah. He draws near them, praises them before the angels. He reminds the angels of the surah of the higher in Surah Al-Baqarah, when Allah said, "Why you call that when he told the angels, I'm going to create the violence or that, what did the angel reply? He said, don't do it, because if you do it, these people are going to go and be doing bad things. And Allah said to them, no, you don't know what I know. I know what you don't know. And then, Allah created, and then he pointing to this, said, look at the people who said they're not going to worship you. Look at what they're doing now. And the shaitan is very, very unhappy on that day, because people are so engaged in worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The claim will soon be finished. Sorry. That's Mount Arafat there. I'm sure we have seen this before. So very quickly. Masjid Namira. Masjid Namira is the mosque in Arafat. You don't need to go there. And the tendency is for people to get lost. Although we have the map now these days which can use, but it's too exacting, too tiring. You don't need to go there. Stay in your tent and do your duties to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I don't think there's much more to do. Let me just go to the last. And I want to show the last. Just give me 3 minutes ago. 3 minutes. Just 3 minutes. Now, one last thing I would like to say is this. Now, this is the last clip I'm going to show. While in Jeddah Airport, please perform your salat on time with Jama'ah. Now, it's very, very important because you will see that is what I said about Hajj in the beginning, that you will expect that when you go for Hajj, it should be easier for you to perform your salat on time. It should be. But you will find out that Hajj is where you are not even able to perform your salat on time. You will find yourself sitting in the bus, the Saudi authorities are not allowing you to leave the bus to go and perform the salat. And then you are sitting down there, Fajr. You have not done it until 10 o'clock when you arrive at your hotel. And the mosque is just about 2 minutes away. I mean, they're doing it for logistic reasons. The think people are going to run away, or maybe the people are going to miss. I remember one year when we were going in, and then we arrived in the place where we went to before Mecca. And we went, some people are very eager to pray. Some people, of course. And then one guy came to me and said, "You want to pray? You cannot pray." He was just making a joke. You want to pray? You cannot pray. We cannot pray. We are in that bus till we reach the sun, cannot come out of it. We said, "Come on, we are good." But when we said we want to go to the class, people want to go to the toilet. I said, "You want them to start doing it in the bus?" That is when they allow them. The people took that opportunity to go and pray. So now, you have to be patient together, because that is where your patience will first be tested. And it's a good opportunity to know the people. And the very last thing I will say is that your passport and your travel documents, please, 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 when it is with you, don't lose it. If it is British passport, of course, don't lose it. It's going to be easier. But when it is a Nigerian passport or a foreign passport, it's a double whammy, as they say. It's a double whammy. Because you are going to first get another passport, and then you have to apply for the visa. If you try to come here, you won't get in here. And the British authorities don't know anything about you if you are carrying a Nigerian passport here. When you have problem here, you are not British embassy's problem, you are Nigerian embassy problem. So you go to them. So you are now reapply for your visa, and when you apply for your visa, then you have to wait. But life is something which you have to make sure you guide against. And of course, they take your passport before, when you get together, and then you lose it before Medina. And then we have to make dua that, may Allah help them to secure those passports in their offices, so that you don't lose it. That's another thing. That is outside of your control. But make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the Saudi authorities don't use it. What did you say? They've lost it before. Yeah, they've lost it before. So, we'll go sorry now. So they've lost it before. So don't lose your passport. Once you get to Jeddah, if you have your biometric card, you don't need it again. Once you pass through once you get on the plane from Heathrow here, you don't need your biometric card again. Because they are not going to ask for a biometric card in Jeddah when you are going to go in. So you don't need your biometric card until you are prepared to go, you are coming back to London. So keep it in a safe place after you've checked in. So don't go and put it in the sack in front of you in the plane, and then you forget it before you leave the plane. Because if you go back to the plane, they won't find it. But those guys, they want to come to England. And when they see anything about England, they just take it. Although they are not going to be able to get it, because we know how they do things. They have fingerprints and all that, but they have got common sense, they will take it anyway. And will create problem for the person. So may Allah make it easy for all of us. May Allah accept all our heart. And this is all I have to say. May Allah forgive me and forgive all of us.
We thank our renowned Hajj operator, Barrister Adewale, for this well-presented talk. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you abundantly, inshallah. In another 10 minutes, you have any questions. So our elder scholar is on seat, likewise the well-known Hajj operator. So if you have any question regarding the performance of Hajj or Umrah, kindly signify where you have, so we call upon you, inshallah. Ten minutes for question and answer before we go for faith, inshallah.
My question is to Professor Alabi to enlighten you. Nígbà ayé àná ní Nàìjíríà, especially ní northern part of Nigeria, àwọn kan máa ń lọ tèrè ọ̀dọ́ kí jímọ̀ ní àkàtà nítorí kí ni torí pé wọ́n wò ó pé àwọn fẹ́ kí títàn wọn kó dé síbẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ti gbàgbé pé ìyá ní méjì làwọn àkókò ìgbà òkú. Ṣé ẹni tó bá kú ní Mẹ́kà kò sí irú ìwà tó lè wù nígbà tó wà láyé àìsàn náà tó dúró wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ àìsàn ìlú bẹ́ẹ̀ dáadáa.
That's the first thing we need to be aware of. But, if I'm your marker, pẹ̀lú àníyàn, ó lè ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tí àwọn àwọn aṣọ fún wa. Pé lásìkò yẹn, Ọlọ́run ọba ti ṣe hajj ní hajjan. So ìyẹn Ọlọ́run ti gbà ní ẹ̀pẹ́ tí wọ́n kú ń bẹ̀ ní ibi ọmọ àlùjánnà. Nítorí pé ó ti ṣiṣẹ́, Ọlọ́run ti sign rẹ̀ off pé now you are now you've done it very well. You are now being reborn as a new baby now. We have overlooked the death to law. So we go back day by day. We say that we pray for company, we pray state to offer. Yeah. Àbí sọ pé Ọlọ́run ọba ò dábàá tí wọ́n ti fún ilé ìwòsàn tí wọ́n lọ Mákà wọ́n lọ bá dé méjì ọ̀gbọ́n London mà wọ́n fẹ́ fún gbàdé. Bí ẹ bá lọ London wọ́n ti ní Heathrow yóò ti máa gba iṣẹ́ mi. So tí a bá fún mi ní choice tí n bá ti jẹ́ pẹ́ẹ́tẹ́ náà báyìí mo ti sign rẹ̀ fún ọ so fẹ́ padà ó ti o lọ padà wọ́n lò ó báyìí ìtọ́fà nílẹ̀ kọ́ lọ́wọ́ bá kó jẹ́ kí iṣẹ́ ikú kó padà ọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ bá dé wà ní ìlú èbó náà àbọ̀ wà ní Nàìjíríà bákan náà ni Ọlọ́run bá ti ní jẹ́ pé àsìkò ikú bá dé Ọlọ́run bá ọdún kí iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ wà lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀ ó lè ti tú bá Ọlọ́run bá aláàánú nípa so ìbéèrè ńlá ni ẹ̀rọ àwọ̀ ẹ̀rọ lọ́wọ́.
Assalamu alaikum. Ọlọ́run sọ gbogbo ẹ̀ tẹ́ ẹ fún wa ní oúnjẹ ìlú náà sọ ilé sọ̀rọ̀. Ìbéèrè mi ni pé tí Hajj bí ẹ ṣe sọ mo gbà yẹn pé kò ní ìdíkẹ́ ẹ̀ máa lọ ní lọ́dọọdún ṣùgbọ́n àwọn kan wà tó yẹ pé wọ́n ti dá ní àníyàn wọn pé àwọn fẹ́ máa lọ lọ́dọọdún. Mo lè rò pé torí irú àwọn èèyàn báyìí ní Saudi ṣe fi additional money sí ẹ tó máa lọ lọ́dọọdún àwọn operator wá lè confirm yẹn. Ṣùgbọ́n what about Umrah? Ǹjẹ́ téèyàn bá ní àníyàn pé tó lè dára níyàn pé òun fẹ́ máa lọ lọ́dọọdún láti kàn máa fi lọ ṣètò Ọlọ́run ṣé ìyẹn kọ́ Umrah àtọ̀kùnsùn àti ṣéèyàn lè máa lọ Umrah lọ́dọọdún tó bá lágbára ẹ̀ financially?
Hajj pàápàá gan Ọlọ́run ò ṣe ní haram fún mi pé kí n máa lọ lọ́dọ̀ wọ́n kàn sọ pé ẹ̀ẹ̀kan náà ni kò sọ pé má lọ lẹ́ẹ̀kejì o má lọ lẹ́ẹ̀kẹta o but about wò it's better not to go every year because a lot of other things just to go. Umrah as many as you like. Even that are better than what we say coming. But the about that say àníyàn ní gbogbo nǹkan. Ọlọ́run ní kí wọ́n má ṣe but Ọlọ́run ní kéèyàn má kírun ní ojoojúmọ́ àbí ní gbogbo wákàtí but bí wọ́n bá wò Ọlọ́run wọ̀ fẹ́ kí ṣe nǹkan méjì jù kí ṣe kó máa kírun ní gbogbo wákàtí jẹ́ pé ó lè ràn yàn lọ́wọ́ ó lè ṣe kíní ó lè gbá ó lè fẹ̀yìn ìrún rẹ̀ kan ní ọ̀nà ọ̀nà ó fi dé ìjẹun náà. One of the Sahaba radiyallahu anhu ó wà níbi tó ń ṣe i'tikaf nínú Ramadan ní Masjid Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ọkùnrin kan wá wọlé ó look very tired ó wà wọ́rí bá ó ní ní gbèsè ni ẹ tó dé ní owó yìí ó ní kó òun kó wá now. That's why I look very harassed. I think Ibn Mas'ud said, okay, you want me to go and speak to him? Go easy on you a little bit. But Allah, it's very good. So Mas'ud wa ko nkari maslasi wa fi jáde. Àwọn sahaba ó gbà pé òun ṣe i'tikaf ni wọ́n gbà pé but inni sami'tu sahiba hadha al-qabr. But I heard the person who is in this grave, meaning Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said that kó lọ ràn ọmọ ìyá rẹ̀ tó wà desperate lọ́wọ́ wọ́n dájú kó máa ṣe i'tikaf fi Ramadan wa fi masjidi hada. Wípé kó wà ní i'tikaf nínú mọ́sálásí mi nínú àwẹ̀ tẹ́nìkan tẹ́ wà desperate to need your help now go and help. So gbogbo yẹn fún wa ní ìtumọ̀ wò pé kéèyàn balance ọ̀rọ̀ Islam ni kéèyàn bá kàn concentrate sórí one thing even though ilẹ̀ ń jó lábẹ́rẹ́ pẹ̀lú láàrin èèyàn but kò ń ṣe haram kéèyàn lọ sí umrah as many times as you like it's not haram. Makkah kéèyàn lọ sí hajj it's not haram but Islam balanced it. We have to be balanced inshallah.
Téèyàn bá wà nínú téèyàn bá kà wá kí èèyàn máa jà kó máa ṣe kí náà nítorí nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ níjọ́ yẹn onítọ̀wé ó ń dá ìdí àwọn ìyàwó àwọn olówó wọn ṣàlàyé ló fi ń rìn bọ̀ èmi dẹ̀ wà lẹ́yìn ó lè fẹ́ sọ́gọ̀ bì báyìí àkóṣe alábàárà ọ̀.
Question here is a very important question. I want to believe it's a spontaneous response. I would want to believe that is the case. May Allah forgive all of us. May Allah forgive you. And it's a spontaneous thing because sometimes when something happens to you, you suddenly, the reaction is to just whatever. But I think the best thing to do is to try to be patient. The best thing to do is that, not in the visiting of the Arab, China, kò ṣe kò tó jẹ́ pé kéèyàn tọrọ àforíjì lọ́dọ̀ lọ́wọ́ wa. But one can understand the feeling and everything. So yẹn ni mo fi sọ pé yẹn la fi ń sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan pé intention sincerity yẹn àti pé kéèyàn mú patience yẹn kó máa remind yẹn all the time. Because èmi kan tí mo dúró sí tí mo ń sọ bíbá yìí, I don't know what I will do in your position when it happens. I'm telling you now, it's not that I'm sitting out there being on top of the stage and saying that, okay, when it happens, I'm going to be the best one. So, but you know, try to remind yourself, and then when you do it, if you do it, mistakenly do it, then sorry, forgive me. But what one cannot do is that, oh, that's bad. No, it's okay. Cherry, a scholar would be better to answer that, but as far as I know, when the tawaf is broken, if you are doing the third one, for example, and then it's broken, then you can do your wudu and then start that third one again. And take that one as off. If you are the first one, you come back and start again. If you are the second one, come back and start that second one again, and so on and so forth. That is how it is, if you are in that position. I pray that you are not in that position when the haram is so full that it's a task to do. Oh no, like you have to go and do the wudu. I mean, I think maybe our Dr. Lau will have to enlighten you here. I mean, there are some scholars. There are some scholars that says that sometimes the value of more that is what we call which is disliked in Islam. But but as far as I know, you've got to go and do the wudu again and start from that. That is why one intimate that is why, except if a person is a disease, which can be for some people. That is why part of preparation I didn't get to the physical preparation. Unfortunately, I couldn't get to it when I was doing my presentation. If I got to that, I have a lot of things to say there. Part of your physical presentation is to watch what you eat before you go to the haram. Because you cannot, get in the plane, going for Umrah, and then start eating junks and things like that, and then you start blowing facts in the haram. And then you try your best so that at the end of the day, you need less opportunity in that position. So for you not to be in the position where you need to go to the toilet to go and read or to whatever, then there are things you have to do. In my experience, I try to watch not eating anything that will train that. Because we all know that if you drink a lot of water, it's okay. But if you start drinking fixed drink and taking biscuits, chocolate, and things like that, I'm sure my mind will then you are bound to want to so you have to prepare physically. And I think to make sure fit. I mean, I recommended people to be doing some walking. You can jog. Put yourself in a very good shape to the extent that you will be fit. Because Hajj is a very tasking duty. When you go there, your body, your mind, everything has to be sound. If it is not, you cannot do the Hajj properly. And of course, Allah will know that you can live not something that will say, you will only, it doesn't put a burden on you. But at the end of the day, you want to satisfy yourself that when you are there, you have done at least everything you can. And part of that, your staff are there. For example, mo fẹ́ lọ ṣe umrah, mo lè wá ní plane, wọ́n á rọ́ mi mú rẹpẹtẹ. Wọ́n á dé ara, wọ́n á ní láti máa lọ sí tọ́lẹ̀tì ní 10 times kìíní kan. Àbí èmi ni mo parí fúnra mi wá. Tí máa tó kékeré lọ ṣáájú pé for example bá ti ta sí lọ káwọn lọ ṣe umrah yẹn, èèyàn mi sọ pé òun wọ́ọ̀ṣì oúnjẹ tó máa kéèyàn ti mọ́ rẹ̀. Ìyẹn mọ̀ ọkọ tó lè máa gbé òun lọ sí ibẹ̀ yẹn. Tó ló àti kọ́ọ̀tì ẹ̀ dáhùn so that kó tó di kó ṣe kékeré at least. Tó bá tẹ̀ ṣe tó bá ti ìlú abẹ́rẹ́ alhamdulilayi mo lè máa lọ tọ́lẹ̀tì sí but it is not a good thing to have to go to toilet when you are in the haram.
But then, mo ti gọrí several times where
wọ́n máa ń criticize ẹ̀ tó lówó wá ló lówó sí tó fi kò lọ sí Hajj. So someone believe pé they call to Allah. So why then do we criticize people who are rich? That's the tour, Lord. So we fair explanation on that reason. Thank you.
And it don't know what well, point of the law, yes, because if you have evidence of the law, everybody is moving back. And in fact, you may say Hajj is ibadatul aghniya. It's an act of worship which is required from those who can afford it. So you can say this is only if you can afford it. It's true. If you don't have money, it's not imposed on you at all. So you can live your life as a good Muslim without any trouble in the law, without Hajj at all throughout your life. And you don't have to be guilty because all your life you didn't have enough money. That's fine. It's not faridah on you. You can live your life as a good Muslim, and inshallah you give him Jannah without paying zakat because you have no money to pay zakat. So that's fine. But you can live all your life without doing Ramadan, and you can still be Ahlul Jannah. Why? Because you're not qualified. You have a condition. You are born with a condition, or you acquire a condition which doesn't allow you to fast at all. So you just compensate. So you may not fast or not zakat or Hajj. You're still a good Muslim. But the only one is Salat. Salat, whether you can see, you cannot see, you cannot hear, you cannot sit, you cannot lie down, you got no circumstances that you can say no. Now you are free from Salat. Salat is always. So Hajj, if you have money and you don't go, and you have no health condition to prevent you, you then liberally say, I'm not interested. That's another question. So we can criticize and say, what are you doing? But we don't know the condition of the body. Maybe something we don't know about. We can only see that it's going and coming, unless he said to us, although I have money, but I'm not interested really. I don't want to inconvenience myself by going to Makkah. Then we start the question and say, no, hang on. You actually believe in Islam, you actually believe in Allah. Allah is calling you, and you are able, and health-wise, safety, money, you are not willing. Is that somebody saying, well, masjid is too crowded, I don't want to be in a mosque. So that's not all. But we have to be very careful not to be readily criticize people without knowing all the circumstances. It's very important to do that. Allah.
Last question of sorry, I didn't see your hand.
Is it permissible to break your one, or have to do it several times all at a time? If you do 3 times, go outside, stretch for some minutes, and do the rest. Is it permissible that way, or you have to do 7 at a school?
Right. Tawaf is prescribed. However, if you are not healthy or able to do it, remember in Saudi you have people who can carry people around. There's a lot of mechanisms to help people who are unable to do so, to be helped. But let's remember from the beginning, let's go back to the beginning. Hajj is required from those who are able to do so. If somebody is not healthy and unable to carry out all the arkan al-Hajj, that person needs to think carefully, say, لمن استطاع إليه سبيلا. Although I have money, but do I have the energy and the health to be able to withstand the hardship of Hajj. Let's say somebody is going through a treatment for cancer, for instance, or is very weak, or any other condition for that matter. The medication may not be readily available. It may really cause trouble health-wise. That person needs to say, no, needs to take advice to say, no, you shouldn't go to Hajj. You shouldn't go. You're not qualified to go. Because liman istata'a ilayhi sabil. Although our heart wants to do, but Allah will still give us that reward. Because Allah knows that you really, really want to go, but your body is letting you go. So that's the first remember. But if we manage to go there, there are a lot of helps which can help people like that. To rest or to be carried around, that's fine. Yeah? But the operator.
I think question time on Mapele here are very, very important in the sense that we have had situations when people are not able to do the tawaf by walking. Instead of them wanting to hire a sort of carrier to take them, they will say, I want to do it, I want to do it. Now, yeah, man, great problem because some people believe that they have to do it in the right way. And I can understand where they're coming from. Because they say, look, you know, why did they pay me? What's the captain? Why did they come out when you say, but what we have to remember is that, as our father said, is that it is Allah that put us in that situation. And it is Allah that wants us, that allowed us to do it in the other way. And if we go and do it in the way in which we are not supposed to do it, and then we end up in the wrong way, which is going to be worse, create problem for the family and for people that break there, then I don't know what can be said about that. So a situation where people need to use help, they need to do the help, because we have had situation where people, they refuse it. They say, oh, the million of people shaking here, then our people might create the problem.
Listen. I'm really sorry. I need to call my computer to ask a question. Please, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
My question is that when our father was telling us about it, he said it's an invitation from Almighty Allah. Yeah, he said it's an invitation, but I know some people, they are not Muslim, and they went to, to make, one way or the other. Then we've been hearing that when you go for Hajj, it's for Tebikor, call for you. Prophet Ibrahim, call for, Shaitan, call for Hasara. I don't know which one, because he said it's by invitation. Please explain that.
It's by invitation with Allah in the Quran, Adhin bin Nas. So we call upon them to come. However, if somebody is really, I just want to go and see what these Muslims are doing right now. Yes, they want to do, and they pretend to be Muslim. And they are rough in a sense. And somehow they obtain the visa. But when are they going to say Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik or not? So when they say Labbaik Allahumma Labbaik, that means I answer your call. Clearly Labbaik. So you don't say, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Because what is calling you. See, that's the pure evidence. But some people may just want to curiosity. So they're not Muslim. They're Muslim. That's between or business. They want to go there and buy some food over there. But Allah knows that they are when they arrive there, you can see their niyyah, you can see their munafiq, you can see whatever they are doing, but He knows what to do with them. So it's not our business. But we should not be, if somebody trying to do it, what the question is, if I know somebody is not a Muslim and is trying to apply for visa, yes, I will alert the Hajj operators to say, do you know, and you ask that people are actually Muslim. If they say they are, fine, end of story. If you say, I'm a Muslim and I want to go to Hajj, it's not up to anybody to put it in further. Because you don't say, come here, read Surah Al-Fatiha. Come here, say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. That's getting too much. But I hope not many of those people are around.
Please, 10 minutes break. After that, we'll put me for the second segment.